Now we come to one of the appliances which is common to all caravans, so you're self-sufficient with inside your caravan. It's a cassette toilet, and this is what it basically looks like from the outside because it empties to the outside. Effectively, a chemical toilet is two tanks. It's a freshwater tank on the top, and then we've got the sludge tank at the bottom. With the cassette toilet, obviously the sludge tank will empty from the outside. To fill the fresh water, this particular model, because it hasn't got anything just here, fills direct from the aqua roll, which we've been through, which saves a lot of time. A lot of caravans though still have a fill-up point here, and it's a good idea to add to your kit of things that you take away with you to have a small watering can, because you have to put the water and sometimes the pink liquid, which we'll talk about in a little while, into that reservoir at the top. As I say, this one fills direct from the aqua roll. So we come to the sludge tank. There is a lever on the inside, rather like the toilet you use on a train or an aircraft. There's a lever which pulls what we call a blade across. That needs to be in its closed position. We can then unclip here and pull this out completely. It's even got dinky little wheels on it and a handle that pulls up. Obviously, this being a brand new caravan, we haven't yet put the cap on here, but normally there would obviously be a cap on here. This is the bit that you're activating when you're floating it across from inside that needs to be locked in place. What you've got there is obviously something that needs emptying in an Elson point on the site. Again, they will be near the toilet blocks, or if you're at home, just down your normal standard toilet. To empty it, obviously, you've got a pouring spout to make it easier. You've also got at this end, which is important, a vacuum button which you need to press in and then just empty it down the toilet, cap back on, that back into position. You can put your blue stuff in here. It's sometimes a lot less messy, but you can also put it in from inside by opening the flap and pouring it direct into this sludge tank. So the direct reverse of that is to click it, make sure it's clicked into place, and then obviously lock it shut. As we said, the cassette toilet is a chemical toilet, and you need to put this blue liquid, which comes in different forms, into the base unit, the sludge tank itself. There is a level indicator on the side of the bottles which shows you how much to put in each time for each charge. Similarly, there's the pink fluid, which isn't quite as necessary, but it's nice to have, which on a caravan where you fill the water tank, the top tank, from the outside, you can add it to that and it gives you an indication on the bottle of what charge to use. Or if you're using one of these caravans such as our Buccaneer and Crusader class, where it comes straight from the aqua roll, obviously you can't put this in the aqua roll, but you can put it in the bowl of the toilet, which we'll show you in a minute inside the caravan. This is the cassette loo from inside the caravan. This particular model is a swivel model. In other words, it will swivel out the way to give you more space to get to the sink, because obviously in a caravan, space is a premium. The older models may be what we call a bench cassette toilet, which goes all the way across. But in either way, they're fixed into position, and it's a bowl with a lid, just like the toilet you've got at home or the toilet you'd find on an aircraft or in a yacht. The lever, which is difficult for the camera to see, is down here. This lever just operates a blade which lets whatever's in the toilet go through into that sludge tank we looked at outside. For flushing the toilet, that's on this caravan obviously activating water from the aqua roll. If you've got one of the other toilets with the water reservoir that you've just filled with your watering can outside, it'll pick up the water from there. So as we said with the pink fluid with this model, you just put it around the bowl. It's just a pretty smelling fluid. It doesn't add anything to the chemical reaction. The blue liquid that we've put in the sludge tank is the important liquid for a chemical toilet. So home from home with a toilet. We've now come round to the near side of the caravan, or the door side of the caravan, and designers normally use their common sense in the fact that all the inputs and the major inputs for supplying everything are on the off side of the caravan, to leave this area clear because it's the doorway of the caravan, And also, a lot of our customers want the addition of an awning, so it means there's not wires all over the floor. But there's normally two areas of interest on this side with these two pieces of equipment. A barbecue point is a nice addition. It's basically a tap from your gas supply. This one, because it's a brand new Caravan, has still got the little attachment with it. So you've got a bit of flexi hose from your gas barbecue. You can plug on there, turn the tap on, and you've got a gas supply outside to do outside barbecuing, which is always fun when you're on holiday with a Caravan. It's a nice addition, a gas barbecue. Also, we've got this locker here, which on this particular Crusader Caravan and on the Buccaneer Caravans, and I would say many of the other models in the range, goes straight through, so you've got storage to the locker underneath, which is underneath the seating area in the Caravan. It's also got, very handily, a mains point, so you can run a small extension lead into your awning, which I found invaluable when we were taking the children away on holiday, to put something electrical items inside the awning, and it's safe. It's got this little cutaway again, which we saw on the other locker, so that you can put the wire in there and shut the door. The other thing this Caravan's got, again in this luxury class from Eldis, it's got an exterior TV position, so you can even plug a TV in there and have a TV set up in your awning. It's just not camping anymore, is it? Depending where the fridge is positioned in the Caravan, you'll have these fridge vents. Fridge vents are important to let the fridge breathe. You can buy winter covers for these to put over the vents in real extreme conditions, but it's always best to leave them open during the main part of the year. Just interestingly, on this Caravan, we've got a further 2 vents here, which shouldn't be blocked, which is letting the microwave breathe. It's the position where the microwave is inside the Caravan. So wherever the Caravan is, these appliances are positioned, you'll find a vent on the other side to let them breathe, including your water heater, which will have a cowl on it as well. All Caravans have a 12-volt distribution point area. It's normally, as with this Caravan, just inside the door of the Caravan, but it can be placed, the dashboard as it could be called, it can be placed anywhere in the Caravan. It's obviously important to know and be really familiar with all its functions. One of the main functions is a master switch. This master switch will switch all your 12-volt off. And there's various switches there. One will be for an awning light outside, or a service light at the front gas locker box, or a service light over the aqua roll on the offside, depending on the luxury of the Caravan. The pump switch, as we've said, which is really important. And there's also another unit here, which is a voltage indicator, which is a really useful thing. It tells you what 12 volt you've got in your battery and a lot about the battery health. So that's the dashboard, 12 volt distribution point. As I say, it may well be in different places in different Caravans, but normally around the door. One of the revolutionary things about caravanning in recent years has been the LED light bulb and the different ways we can light a Caravan up. So you'll find that, especially in a luxury class Caravan like this, you've got ambient lighting, we've got light strings underneath here, LED light string underneath the work surfaces, and hidden lighting in the back of the units, which really make it fantastic for mood lighting. When you've got this Caravan lit up at night and you're in it, you'll find there's lights for everything that you need, including these reading lights. If you just want to sit quietly and read a book, you've got reading lights in each corner. This Caravan's also got, for instance, footlights like you get on an aircraft to light up the floor. So if you're getting out of bed to go to the toilet, you can just flick the footlight on so you're not disturbing other people who are sleeping. So lighting in Caravans, I say, revolutionised with the LED lighting system. So now we come to heating systems, because obviously you want your Caravan to be nice and comfortable. You're spending time inside the unit itself, and if you're going to be caravanning and spreading the season as much as you possibly can, heating is comfort. These Caravans are prepared for that. You've got 2 different systems, predominantly, depending on which Caravan you choose. One is the wet central heating system, which is made by Aldi predominantly, and one is the air-blown system, which is normally a Whale system or a Truma system, but we'll come to the air-blown later. This particular Caravan has got a wet central heating system. And if you've caravanned in the past and you're just coming back into it, you'll notice one big difference with the modern Caravan. There's no fire. So you've got no focal point of heat. The best way of describing this wet central heating system is it is the same as the central heating system you've got at home. You've got a boiler. This is a Combi Boiler which sits underneath where I'm sitting now here, tucked out of the way, that will work on gas or mains electricity, and it's operated from a board which is up on that distribution board that we've just shown you. This is something that will be shown to you when you come and pick your caravan up, because you can choose your function, you can choose either mains, you can choose gas, and you can choose how much power. You can choose 3 kilowatt, 2 kilowatt, 1 kilowatt for instance, for the power you put into it. What this basically does is heats a liquid. There's a sealed unit that runs all the way round the caravan, and in this case with Aldi Heating you've got a heated towel rail in the bathroom. On the Buccaneer class vans the floor is a radiator. We've even got heated pipes running through the floor, so it is really luxurious. 12 volt pump, pumping that liquid round. Now that liquid's got antifreeze in it, and there is a top up point in the caravan if you want to top up the antifreeze or top up the water, but it's something really that if your caravan's been serviced you'd really have to attend to. So because it's antifreeze, it's a no-no. You don't need to drain it down like you do the freshwater systems as we've explained. So with the Aldi Heating, say set the source you want to power it up with, then you can set the room temperature. You can also set a 24-hour timer for it to come on and come off. The only thing I would note, maybe the only back note to it without having the old fire, is that when you get into the caravan it's just like when you come back from holiday in Spain and you've been away and your house, you put the central heating on, it is background heating. It's going to take a while for the caravan to heat up, but once that's happened you're away and running. We've now moved into one of our lightweight models, and often in these ranges they use what's called the air-blown system. So we've just done the wet system, this is an air-blown system. The easiest way of explaining this to you is it's similar to the system you've got in your car. It relies on hot air being heated up and blown round ducting into different areas of the caravan. Again, it's very, very sophisticated. It'll work again on mains and on gas, although do remember it fires up on 12 volts, you still need your 12 volt function. And it's thermostatically controlled, and you can set a timer so it comes on and off at times in the day when you need your heating. But gives a very comfortable, warm environment, just the same as the wet central heating. So we've looked at the two main modern ranges of what we call Combi Boiler heaters that heat your hot water and they heat your heating system. If you're buying an older caravan, which we still sell and they still work fine, you may find that you've got the separate space heater, as we call it, and a water heater. Don't worry that we're not covering them in this film, because on the day our engineer will go through the functions of them, but they work in very much the same way. They've central heating systems as well, air-blown systems and everything else, and work perfectly fine. It's just that modern caravan designers have now gone for this combi system that we've talked about. All modern caravans have a Caravan Fridge, which is described as we call dual purpose, dual function, in the fact that it will work on gas, it will work on mains. This particular model we're showing you is in our Crusader class caravans, and it's got a large freezer compartment, so it's known as the fridge freezer. Along the top here there's controls, and again you'll be shown these on the day, so that it's all touch screen. You can select what power source you want, what temperature you want. The other point I'd make about a Caravan Fridge is it does have a third power source, which is 12 volt. Now we'll talk about this later. That relies on you having your car wired. The caravan's all wired for it, and it's a 12 volt element in the back of the fridge. It will keep the fridge cool as you're driving along, and when we come to hitching the caravan on we'll talk about this function. So it's 240 volt gas and 12 volt, but that is only to sustain the temperature in the cabinet, not to freeze it down. This is the hob, grill and oven part of the caravan. Caravans predominantly have always had a hob, either a 2 or 3 burner, and a grill in most cases. The oven now has been a luxury feature, and it's now becoming more and more part of the kit that you get. Obviously, we're working in this particular case on gas for 3 of the burners and gas for the grill and the oven. These just light on an automatic light. You'll notice also with this Caravan luxury feature, you've got a mains hot point. So you've got mains on there as well. It's the only mains bit. Obviously that's not going to work if you're wild camping and you're not plugged into mains, but it's a nice addition if you want to use the mains for cooking. One important point is that in some models, unless the glass is really pushed back in that position, the gas won't come through. And it's really important that when you've been using this either on the mains or the 3 points for gas, that you wait for this to fully cool down before you close the glass lid. The other thing is that when you are grilling, that you keep the door open. It does come with a small, all the Caravans come with a grill pan. Another nice feature in a luxury Caravan is what we call an Omni Vent. This is an extractor impeller that's built into the roof light of the Caravan. So because it's a roof light, it's always important to twist this, because that opens up the roof light to the elements before we switch it on, else it's not really doing a lot of good if this is shut. Then we can press the on button and we can have this working either as an impeller or an extractor, using the buttons and turn the volume up as we want to. So turning each time you press. Normally positioned near where you're cooking so that any cooking smells are taken straight out through the roof. So now we're coming to in Caravan Entertainment, and one of the key features is obviously TV. Most Caravans would have at least 2 TV points in them, but certainly 1. This Caravan's got a through the roof aerial, which is a common feature. So we loosen it off on this nut, push this up, and we can tighten that into a position. And what that's doing is literally pushing what I've described to a lot of customers as a kipper on a stick. It receives the signal. You can move that round. You can also pitch it so that it pitches from side to side to tune your TV in. One little warning is it depends where you are, obviously in the signal in the area, but a Caravan aerial is not going to get you all the myriad possibly of programs you get at home, but at least it's an aerial that will work in most cases. This position in the Crusader also would be fixed here. This is how it comes when it comes from the factory, the radio front, and it's a CD radio, much the same as you have in your car. And this is run to speakers. Often there's speakers in the bedroom end and speakers in the front end. So you've obviously got your own Caravan radio. To help you get a much better signal, all Caravan TV aerial supplies come with this unit, which is called a signal booster. You can see with the red light that it's on. It's a 12-volt feed, and you can adjust the boost on the so that you get a better picture. It's just something to help you with this TV aerial to get the best possible picture you can on site. We're now inside one of our Adria Caravans, which we also promote, and they've moved the in Caravan Entertainment even further forward with a Bluetooth interface, which you switch on underneath, and you can tune your iPhone into this or your mobile phone into this and play music. The speakers in here are fantastic, and it's even got a subwoofer built into the system. So what Adria have gone for is total surround sound. We've run through most of the accessories that you can buy or that come with a Caravan. There's obviously areas that we haven't covered, such as self-seeking satellite dishes that you can have on the roof, or you can have plugged into your battery position, bike racks, etc, etc, etc. If you've chosen to have these accessories, they will be explained on the day, but for the sake of this film, we just want to keep to the basic necessities. The choices a customer makes about the Caravan they eventually purchase comes down to how the interior layout suits their lifestyle. As this is a film based on handing the Caravan over, I'll cover an area that is common in most Caravan layouts. The fashion over the last decade or so has been to have more designated areas, such as fixed beds, but all Caravans have this lounge area, which has a dual purpose, or even a triple purpose, as we'll show. As a lounge, as a dining area, using the Caravan's freestanding table, which comes with the kit, We've pulled out a slatted base which runs between the two bunks and used the back cushions and the base cushions to form a mattress. Notice that I've used the two narrower back cushions for the outside, which is where they're better because you're not lying on them, and I've turned the cushions over so we've lost this thigh roll and it's a flatter surface, but it does make a comfortable mattress. Another unique feature with Caravans is the way we treat windows with fly screens and blinds. You can pull this blind all the way down and then we've got a fly screen which follows it, which means you can have a half and half situation, or obviously you can have the window open with the fly screen. Another nice feature was what's coming over the last few years, these large roof lights, some of them Hecky roof lights which are quite rectangular, quite big, and these Sunseeker or Starseeker roof lights. These roof lights do open to let ventilation into the caravan and will stay in that position. Obviously when you lock them down, make sure that you put all your cleats across so that they're fully locked down, but they also have a full blackout blind and fly screen, so you can have them open in the summer with the fly screen across to let the bugs, stop the bugs coming in. The smaller roof lights just pop up, but they will also have blinds and fly screens in them. Caravan windows. Customers have to realise, and we all have to realise, these are only made of perspex, which is a form of plastic. So they're not as durable as, say, a glass unit that we use at home. When they open, there's a thumb screw knob here, which should be tightened so it'll stay in its position. Please make sure when they're shut, don't use these, you don't need to tighten them when the window is shut and in position, because you've got your levers across here, 4 levers on this large window to secure it shut. The Caravan window is a blister. It's got an outer layer of perspex, an inner layer of perspex, and quite often you'll find that, especially when you've had very, very frosty weather, then we get bright sun in the morning, inside that window, inside that atmosphere, you'll get a very, very fine mist. This isn't unusual, and it's not a reason to say a replacement window. It will go when the temperature on the inside and outside equalise. As the window gets older, unfortunately, and more brittle, they can break down. In other words, the inner piece of perspex can start coming away from the blister piece of perspex on the outside. And obviously then the window does break down and you will get condensation in the windows. I think the biggest thing is when you get droplets of water running down the inside of the window, then you know you've got a problem. The main thing is the customer is looking after them and making sure that these are loosened off so you're not forcing the window open. And the other thing is when you're cleaning it, use a sponge. This is a very, very soft surface. So if you're using a stiff brush or using a brush that you'd maybe use for the rest of the caravan, if you use that on this, you will get fine scratches in it. Now we can renovate these to a certain extent by using something like T-cut or cutting paste and polishing them. Again, don't use a power polisher on them, or if you do, use it very sparingly, because obviously these will react to heat, and if you overheat them you can warp the window. But you can make a very nice job on a used caravan of polishing the windows and getting rid of those fine scratches. We've just about wrapped up now some of those major functions in the caravan that we're going to talk about in the showroom here. I mean, there are other parts that we need to talk about, like the alarm system and security, but they will be dealt with on the day. Some of the caravans have quite sophisticated alarms on, and you need to be shown that really so that you know exactly how to use it.